So Disney Plus is bringing back Daredevil, and hopefully it isn't 6 episodes because I'm so tired of that. I think 6 episode limit has been to the detriment of every single one of their shows. There hasn't been one show that has not been hurt by the 6 episode restriction, in my opinion. So I hope they, with Daredevil, it is like at least 10, hopefully like 12. Like I need a good, decent chunk for Daredevil. I don't want them to skimp on that. Um, how you feeling about this revival?
It will not be Netflix Daredevil.
Of course,
No,
of
for a
course not.
fact it won't be Netflix Daredevil because they were hyping up Moon Knight to be super brutal and
It
like the
wasn't.
most brutal thing that ever done, and it really
Like going back
wasn't.
and like people have been like tweeting that quote that Kevin Feige had about, oh my god, it was like this moment where he's like punching someone and we're like, oh my god, are we gonna pull back on this? And no, we're not. And it's like I think that moment was supposed to be when he was beating up the jackal in the bathroom in like what, the
It
second
definitely
episode,
was.
and that was not violent at all. You didn't even see it. You didn't even
Yeah,
see it. You just
no,
heard it. And then you saw him punching him from very far away for like a couple seconds before he stood up and walked towards the camera. It was nothing. That whole show was, I enjoyed it, but after reading a Moon Knight comic in the middle of the season, I was like, what is this show in comparison to to the comics? This is like people make the, you know what? And this is just popping in my head. I never thought about this. Maybe they did that because people kept comparing him to Batman, even though, look, he's similar to Batman, obviously, but he isn't just Batman. And people understand that no matter how many assholes try to say he's basically Batman. We know he's not Batman. And I think they were trying too hard, potentially, to distance himself from Batman. And I would normally try to give them the benefit of the doubt with this type of stuff, but they literally changed Miss Marvel's powers, most likely because they didn't want it to be similar to Mr. Fantastic's. So I would not be surprised if they actually changed Moon Knight so that he wasn't too similar to Batman.
honestly, I don't feel like Moon Knight's all that similar to Batman, other than the fact that they both beat up people at night. If it adapted a Moon Knight
I mean,
story from
he's
the
very
past like
much
10
like,
years well enough,
it's
like
hard
it wouldn't have been an issue.
in pretty much every way. Any vigilante type human character made after Batman was created by some extent has been influenced by Batman, just like most superheroes have been influenced by Superman. Like he's not a carbon copy by any means, but the similarities are there. Like the influence is there. Like Batman has definitely been the inspiration for most of those type of vigilante type characters.
My favorite thing to say whenever someone tries to complain about Moon Knight being a comparison to Batman is I'm like, Batman doesn't have DID and schizophrenia and literally brutally murders criminals
Yeah,
and wears all white and takes pride in the fact that he wears all white and takes pride in the fact that he murders criminals.
there's a
It's,
very base level similarity that once you go deeper, they're nothing like each other at all.
yeah, pretty much.
Like on the surface, they're similar, but beyond that, they're nothing alike. Speaking of which, Namor, his origin is being changed in the MCU to originate not from Atlantis, but will come from a historically submerged city from Mexican culture. And he will be the child of a human man and a queen of the submerged people. And people also, I'm assuming that this might be to distance Namor from Aquaman, which I can't claim to know a lot about Namor as a character. I always thought he was interesting, but I've never gone my way to read any comics with him in it. So I think this change in origin is very interesting and cool, and it's, I will never be like it. Like exploring a different culture is never a bad thing, and I think a part of the reason they're doing it isn't just because of Aquaman, which I think might be, probably is a bit a part of it, but also so that they could do more of a, um what's the word I'm looking for? I'm just gonna say like comparison between him and Black Panther. Like what's the word that I'm looking for? I don't know, but you know what I think you get what I'm going for. Like the dichotomy between the two characters and their similar origins as kings. So yeah. I'm interested to see what they were going to do with Namor in the second movie, and they've all but confirmed it now. So we now know Namor is the villain, which has been rumored for a long time, or at least a character. It doesn't mean he's going to be the villain, but he's going to be a main character in the film. You're interested to see Namor in Black Panther?
Not really.
Oh wow, I had a feeling you would say
He, he's literally. I'm not kidding when I say he's literally Aquaman. If Aquaman was a
that.
severe
Yeah,
asshole.
from the little bit that I know, he's very similar to Aquaman. So I do think, much like Moon Knight, they're doing this to distance the character from the DC counterpart, which with Namor, I'm completely fine with. So,
I would say, unlike the Moon Knight thing, Namor, even after a surface level, is still very similar to
oh yeah,
Aquaman
for
in
sure.
a whole lot of ways.
I
He's
wonder,
just an asshole and sometimes a villain.
I wonder if he'll be a mutant. We'll see.